Rise 360 makes it really easy to check in with your learners using both graded quizzes and ungraded knowledge checks. Let's take a look at both, beginning with the ungraded knowledge check. To insert a knowledge check, click the Insert Block icon and select a question type from the knowledge check category in the sidebar. Now here you can see there are 4 types of knowledge checks to choose from. I'm going to choose the first one, the multiple choice, so select it. Go ahead and close the block library. Okay, cool. With my multiple choice block added, it's time to add my question and answer choices. Click the block's edit button in the top left and enter your question text. Okay, with the question all set up, we can now add an image or video to our question. I'll grab an image from Content Library. Enter a search term. Plate should be good. And we'll grab this one, select it. Okay, and you can see a thumbnail preview of the image right here. If for any reason you wanted to swap that image with a different one, you can choose Edit, and you can replace it from Content Library, embed it, replace with an embed, edit the alt tag, remove it, and start all over again if you like. I like my image, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to scroll down here, and now we can add the choices in each of the fields and then mark the correct choice. So with choice 1, going to select the text, type in myth, and for the second choice, we'll call that fact. And this is a myth, so I'm going to leave that first choice selected. And finally, let's add the feedback to my question. Now you can see down here that there are a few different options, a few different ways we can add feedback. For the first example is any response. That's the default response, which means that it displays the same feedback for both the correct and the incorrect choices. Now, the correct-incorrect feedback option lets you create custom responses for both the correct and incorrect answers. And by choice, the final option lets you enter different feedback specific to each of the answer choices. I'm going to keep things simple right here and select the default, any response, and drop my feedback in right here. Okay, cool. I'll close out of the sidebar and let's test my knowledge check real quick. So come on up here to preview. All right, scroll down. Here's my knowledge check. I have my image right here. Make a choice. Let's say myth and click submit. And then there's my feedback. Okay, cool. Now let's take a look at how graded quiz questions work. To add the quiz lesson, we need to jump back to our course outline so we can add a new lesson title. Come down all the way down. Let's add a new title. Click the Add Content button and select the quiz block to begin adding your quiz questions. Begin by adding text to describe your quiz. And by default, Rise adds 2 quiz questions to get you started. You have a multiple choice question, and you can see that right here. Then you also have a multiple response question as well. Let's begin with the multiple choice question. Enter the question text in the title field and add your answer text for each choice. And select the correct choice, which is this one right here. And just like with the knowledge checks, you have 3 different types of feedback you can offer. You have the any response, which is the default option, and it displays the same feedback for both the correct and incorrect choices. And you have the correct and incorrect feedback, where you can create custom feedback for both the correct and incorrect answers. And then finally, by choice, lets you enter different feedback for each of the answer choices. Again, we'll keep things really simple and add the same feedback for each response. Now here's a really cool tip. If you create a multiple choice question, just like we did here, and later decide you'd prefer to use a multiple response question instead, just click the drop-down menu up here and choose multiple response. Your choices will be preserved and you can always switch back to the original quiz. Pretty cool, right? Now, I don't need a second quiz question over here, so I'm going to remove it. So just hover over the title and click the trash can icon. And to add more questions to your quiz, you can click the Add Question button down here to add a new question. And to customize your quiz settings, such as passing score, randomization, and number of retries, come all the way up here in the top right and click Settings. Now here you can easily customize everything from the passing score, the number of retries, whether to include or exclude the quiz from the lesson count. Scroll down, you have the randomized question order if you want, shuffle the answer choices, and finally whether to reveal the correct answers after each submission. I'm going to go ahead and close out of here. As you can see, Rise 360 makes it really easy to challenge learners with graded quizzes or simply check in with learners using ungraded knowledge checks.